You said I want to see you again, but I'm stuck in colder weather. Maybe tomorrow will be better. Can I call you then? She said you're
Hi, welcome to Big Bear Survival and Training. Today we're going to discuss not doing laundry. We're going to discuss winter preparedness and car kit for survival. Some of the things we're going to discuss here on the table are what you're going to have in your kit, what you're going to need in your car in case of an emergency. I know those people in Atlanta were stranded for 8-12 hours out there, couldn't get home. A lot of them got out of their car and started walking. Terrible idea. So the first thing I want to talk about is the rule of threes. The rules of threes are 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, or 3 weeks without food. Now the 3 days without water and the 3 weeks without food is debatable, but definitely if you're out in some really cold temperatures and you're not prepared for it, you're in shorts and a t-shirt, you're not going to survive for long. You're going to freeze to death. You're going to get hypothermia and you're just going to freeze, and that's not good. So what we're going to do here is we're going to prepare for those situations. Maybe the unexpected, maybe you slide off a road or something, go into a snowbank. Next thing you know, the snow plow comes by, covers you up. Now you're not getting out of there anytime soon. It's dark, it's cold, you're scared. But we're going to help you prepare for that so you're not dark, cold, or scared. So the one thing I do want to talk about today is hypothermia. Hypothermia occurs when the body can no longer maintain its core temperature and it starts to decline. It can happen in as little as 3 degrees. Usually at 95 degrees you start experiencing symptoms of hypothermia. So I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I am an EMT. I'm nationally certified EMT. So I have seen this happen before. It's just bad news. You can get delirious. People start shedding off clothes. They go hide in corners. It's really bad news in extreme cases. But this is, when you start getting cold, you start rubbing your hands and stomping your feet. Well, that's a natural reaction because the blood is leaving those extremities and trying to protect the core of the body and the core of the organs in your core, like your heart, your lungs, your liver, things like that. So some things we're going to talk about today is what I carry in my car. I live here in Colorado. It has been really super cold lately. We have been getting quite a bit of snow. A lot of this I carry with me year-round because I'm up in the mountains. The weather up there can change very rapidly. You can go up in t-shirt and shorts or jeans or something like that during the day. A little bit of rain and clouds come in the afternoon. Next thing you know, it's 30 degrees and raining, and that's definitely a recipe for disaster. So some of the things we're going to talk about today is what you should have with you. The number one thing I really like to have is a good pair of hiking boots. I can't stress enough that do not scrimp on these. This is not something. Don't go to Walmart and buy the cheapest pair of hiking boots you can find. Invest in a good pair of hikers. I got these for about $100. It's a really good price on some A-Solos. There's a company called Sierra Trading Post. It's out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Excellent source of gear, especially hiking boots and things like that. So that's a really good idea to have, because a lot of times your footwear just isn't, you aren't prepared for the weather. The other thing the Army taught me, socks. Change your socks, keep your socks dry. Army travels on its feet, definitely want a good pair of socks there. I usually carry 2 pair, one heavy wool sock and one lighter cotton sock, because you don't want your feet overheating either if you have to wear these in the summertime. A good winter coat. This is kind of a more lightweight winter coat. I don't have a really big winter coat in my car because I usually wear one. I usually wear a coat that's a little too warm for the weather I'm going in for, but that's a good idea to have a good winter coat with you. Also, layers. You want to layer a lot of your clothing. So And you want to stay dry. You don't want to be wet at all. That's just bad news if you get wet and cold. So I also carry a rain suit. These are rain pants. Okay, that's actually a rain jacket. They look similar. But this is a rain jacket with a hood. So you can keep your head dry, and it has a little bit of thermal insulation, but you can wear this over the, I get one size bigger than I should, so you can wear it over like a heavier coat, keep you dry and waterproof. These are the pants here. This is Eddie Bauer stuff. It's quality, ripstop nylon, really good, and it will, definitely is waterproof, will repel water. The other thing I always keep in my car, regardless of whether it's wintertime or summertime, is a spare shirt and a spare pair of pants. I also keep a belt, a spare pair of underwear, and another pair of socks in there as well, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, if you're just out there changing a tire and it's raining or something like that, you can get splashed. It's really nice to have a dry pair of clothes to put on. In the summertime, I just keep the light shirt and the pants in there, and but in the winter time, I also put in a pair of long underwear. So I'd have my boots, my heavy socks, my long underwear, the pants, the shirt, the heavy coat, and then the rain gear over that. That's all layering that will help insulate you against the cold and wet. A good pair of gloves is essential. These are winter gloves. And a wool hat. You lose 90% of your body heat through your head, so keeping a good hat on really makes a big difference. That's essential. But I have 2 pairs of gloves in my car, and the reason for that is these are to keep my hands warm. These are my work gloves. If I need to change a tire or something like that, I don't want to damage these gloves or get them wet. And then I have a spare pair of gloves to put on after I've done the work. So if these get wet or anything like that, the work gloves get wet, I can immediately go to the dry gloves and get my hands warm, because that is uncomfortable. The other thing I always keep in my car is a first aid kit. Now I don't keep the small first aid kit, something like this, with me, because I'm an EMT. I have a whole bag dedicated to just first aid and things like that. And mine's a little more advanced. But this would be great for someone with just some basic first aid training, you know. It's a good thing to have in there. This is like $10 at Target. Excellent little kit. Even has an emergency blanket in there to keep you warm. Wet wipes. These are great if you have to do your business out in the woods. It's nice to have these. If you get cut or a wound or just dirty, it's nice to be able to get yourself clean. The other thing that a lot of people forget is personal medications. If you have an opportunity to put some personal medication, you carry something with you on a daily basis, a medication you take on a daily basis, you definitely want to keep those spare personal medication in the vehicle with you, just in case you have to go past that 6 or 8 hours that you would normally take your medication. It's going to help you out a lot and make you feel a lot happier. I have asthma, so if I need my inhaler, that's critical that I have that. I can't be out there working on shoveling snow or anything like that. If I overexert myself, I'm really going to be in a bad situation if I don't have an inhaler with me. Now, shovels are one of those things that you can go small. This is a Gerber shovel. And I think I just got to undo this here. Yeah. This is really small and compact. It works really well. I think this actually comes out too. It does. It all snaps into place. Now, in the mountains of Colorado, if I'm trying to shovel out snow from around my vehicle, and I got to do it with this is not going to be sufficient. But if I have to dig out a little bit of mud and get out of the way, no problem. This will do the job. That's perfectly acceptable. I know a lot of guys here carry like pickaxes in their 4-wheel drive trucks, and they take a full-size shovel and just cut off the handle, and they use that for any different situations they might get into, because they're four-wheeling up in the mountains and they're just bound to get stuck, and they know that they're going to be able to dig themselves out. The other thing I always carry with me is a tarp. This is nice because it's waterproof. You can lay it on the ground next to where you're, if you're changing that tire or something like that, or clearing out from around your tailpipe or anything. You can put this on the ground. It also is bright red and silver on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a great signaling device. You put this over the hood of your car or something like that, and a state trooper drives by and he says, "Hey, what's that great big spot of red over there?" Or "What's that great big spot of silver?" It just makes you more likely to be seen and reflect off the sun and maybe get you recognized. I have an old army blanket in my car. It's more sentimental than functional, but it does work. As you can see, it rolls up nice and tight in a little bedroll, and this will give you quite a bit of warmth, and even if this gets wet, this will keep you warm. It's 100% wool, perfect. When I was in the Army, I was a cook, and whenever we were on maneuvers over in Korea, if it was the winter time, the guys came out and they were cold, they were wet, they were tired. One thing we always had for them was hot soup. Hot soup will do wonders to make you feel better in a bad situation. So what I carry with me is a stainless steel water bottle. I can put snow in here and heat that up directly in the bottle. But I also carry this GSI tin cup. It fits right in the bottom there, just like that. That's perfect. You take a little wet fire tinder, which is this stuff right here. You put that over the top of it, it'll melt snow and actually heat that up to boiling in just a couple minutes, even in the coldest conditions. And you'll have a nice hot cup of water for a hot cocoa, some Lipton instant soup, cup of tea, whatever you want. I guess if you're British, you drink tea. If you're American, you drink coffee. It just works really good. I was recently on a hike up in Grand Junction area. We hiked all day. It was cold. We were wet. We were miserable. I made some soup for me and my wife. We finished the hike, no problem. Signaling is real important. I carry these emergency road flares. They're the small ones. They're not as big. They don't last as long, but they also make a great fire starter if you have to make a fire. I don't recommend leaving your vehicle to go search for firewood and make a fire or anything like that. Stay in your vehicle, run it about 10 to 20 minutes every hour. Keep yourself warm. Make sure you got enough fuel to do that. You don't want to run out of fuel either. But you definitely can use that to signal anybody passing by, a snow plow, anything like that. Also don't want to be completely in the dark. I always carry a mag light with me. Works really well. Just a real time-tested flashlight. Put your batteries in backwards. That way they won't be dead when you need them. Also in the tail cap, there's a spare bulb in there. Great flashlight, $20 at Walmart. A couple Cliff Bars. I always have a couple of these with me. I like them. You can use power bars, anything else you want to use. Just a good thing to have in there. Always carry a multi-tool. You never know when you just need to clamp something down to get you to the next gas station or something. And if this is in your kit, you're good to go. More signaling. We have some light sticks here. I keep a variety of colors. This is a yellow, this is a green, this is a red. The different colors don't last as long. The green lasts the longest and it's the brightest. But if you start getting into colors, they don't last as long. Also, light sticks don't work as well in really cold temperatures. They aren't as bright and they don't last as long. That's something to keep in mind too. A little bit of candy. If you have a little bit of candy with you, it can really soothe you and know that, distract your mind from the situation a little bit, give you a little bit of sugar, and just kind of calm you down. If you travel with kids, perfect opportunity to break out that candy, make them a little happier, get them playing a game or something like that. It's a real good idea. I also carry these toe and hand warmers. If you do have to get out of the car, or you're not moving around a lot inside the car, definitely a nice idea to break one of these open, get those hands and feet warm. You'll be a lot more comfortable. This is all small stuff that doesn't cost a lot of money. You can just toss in your car and keep with you, and then you have some emergency preparedness items with you, make you a lot more comfortable, and could save your life potentially. Want to keep also a cell phone adapter for your car. You want to be able to make that 911 call. The jumper cables are a good idea. If you don't know how to use these, definitely do it on a sunny day when it's nice and warm out. Go and test them, make sure you can do it. Leave that light on and, test it out and see if you can't jump your car and figure out how to do this. If you have a neighbor that's a mechanic or real handy, you can do that. The other thing that people don't realize is that you can hook this up to a battery, touch these two together, and you will get a spark for fire. Not something I recommend. You can use the steel wall. If you put it together on a piece of steel wall, instant fire there as well. I always keep some duct tape in my car. You never know when you need to duct tape something. It helps when you're, if you have to put the signal tarp down, you can tape it down with some duct tape, and that'll keep that from blowing away or anything like that. Just duct tape's universal, good thing to have with you all the time. Stormproof and waterproof matches, excellent item to have with you. It's a nice backup for the lighter. At temperature, a Bic lighter, and at altitude, sometimes these will not work. If it gets too cold, it just will not work. So that's something to keep in mind too. One thing that I've always kept with me since I was in the military is an MRE. Always have an MRE in the car. They are self-contained. They hold about 3,000 calories a piece. They taste a lot better than just a Cliff Bar. It comes with sugar, toilet paper, Tabasco, coffee packet, everything in there. Creamer, sugar. You can make yourself nice and warm, and even has some toilet paper in there. So that's a good idea too. Plus, in the military MREs, or you can buy this separately, they have these heaters. And all you need to do is put about 2 tablespoons of water in there. This will heat this up. You'll have a nice hot meal and keep yourself warm with the food. A nice hot meal and some warm soup. It's all the comforts of home right there in the car. In case you have to have an emergency, you're good to go. So once again, thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe down at the bottom here. I appreciate you watching, and have a great day. Thanks.